Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do my full review on the Okluma DC0 or the Okluma DC0. I'm not sure exactly what the brand name was supposed to be, but we all call them Okluma. Jeff Sapp over there is the owner-operator of Okluma, and he makes probably the most popular EDC flashlight in the game, at least if you're talking about custom lights. We call them custom flashlights. In reality, they're really small batch production because I didn't contact him and say, I want this version of this with this, this, and this, and then he made it for me, right? This was something I just found available and bought. But in the realm of what we're talking about, it's a custom flashlight. I'm not going to get all weird on that, but I just wanted to say it because I know I'm going to get comments, right? This is in titanium. It has a tumble to it, which I've realized is definitely what I need in flashlights because I tend to drop these flashlights, scratch them up a little bit. Now, this is DLC titanium with a Zerblast. So it's actually really durable, but I had a machine titanium one of these and absolutely scratched the shit out of it. Here's a stonewash tie, which actually wears more than I expected. This is the CWF Peanut. The other one was the CWF Micro Arcadian. You can actually see the kind of brotherhood here. Micro Click or Micro Arcadian and Peanut. And he used to make one called the Arcadian, which was similar to this, but I think a little bit bigger. Anyway, we could do some size comparisons, I guess. You have the Micro Click there, and you have the Peanut here. So you have a 10440 battery, a 14500 battery, and an 18350 battery. And if you're wondering what those batteries are, if you're a noob like me, 10440 is like AAA. 14500 is like AA. 18350 I guess would be like what, a C battery or something like that. Now they're not those things. They're more powerful, they have more output, they're rechargeable. I'm just saying size wise, think of that. And then the way the battery denomination works, if you're not aware, is it goes by size. So the 10 in 10440 is the diameter. It's 10 millimeters in diameter. And then it's 40, 10, 40, well, it's 440, sorry, it's 44. So it's 10 millimeters diameter, 44 millimeters long, and then the 0 stands for, well, it's a cylinder, so it's a circle, so the 0. And 14500 is 14 millimeters in diameter. I'll show you here. We can do this for you. So we're gonna zero this guy out. We're gonna go to millimeters. You're gonna see this is right at, I mean, give me a break here, 14 millimeters in diameter. And then, not sure if this is bad, there's metal here. 49 long, aka 50, right? 14, 50, and then again you get the 0 because it's cylindrical. And then, obviously I don't have to do it again for you on this one, but 18, 35, 0. So anyway, that's the battery thing, but this is basically the size of a AA. And the Okluma DC0 here is what I would call the thinnest 14500 that I've seen. It's part of why it's the best EDC light, just blanket statement, I think, across the board. If you talk to people, there's two reasons for it. It's very simple, right? It really has great functionality in a simplistic way. If you're looking for, secondary colors and being able to program it to do everything you want it to and strobe and shit like that, then this is not for you. But if you want it to turn on, have 3 simple modes, have good run time, put out a nice clean beam, and get the job done, this is the guy for you, all right? So Jeff recommends these batteries specifically. These are the vape cell, whatever, F12, 1250 milliamp hour, 3.7 volt, 4.6 watt hour batteries. Max continuous discharge 3A. I don't know if they're unprotected. I'm not sure. I think what unprotected means is if you drain this to 0, it will hurt the battery. It'll hurt the capacity of the battery. I think you guys can correct me in the comments. And then protected would be you can drain it, you can, and then there's also like discharge protection and shit like that. Yeah, so I'd love to learn about that stuff. I've tried to find some videos on it and I can't. I've just found videos explaining the sizes and stuff like that. Stuff I already knew pretty much. Like the 3.7 volt is the output. So that's going to be, basically how much power this thing can put out. So let's say you have 3.7 volts, right? Like this battery, there's three emitters in here, right? You have the secondary emitter, but then you have these 3 emitters. So the light is going through 3 different emitters. This is a 18350 battery. So you can see it's a little fatter. It's a little bigger battery, sorry. But it has 1100 milliamp hours. So it actually has less runtime. The milliamp hours is what tells you the runtime, essentially. Has less runtime. But it's still 3.7 volts, right? 4.1 watt hours. Watt hours also kind of gives you the runtime. So as far as I understand the way it works, that 3.7 volts is getting pushed through 3 different emitters, right? So wouldn't that mean that you're sending, X amount of volts to each emitter? Where this one is sending 3.7 volts to 1 emitter. Now, your driver is, I guess, controlling that. So it's obviously not sending 3.7 volts right here. It's probably sending a very small amount, or maybe it's the amps. I don't know. I really want to learn all this. And I just have not found a video with somebody explaining it, at least not to where it made sense to me. So if anybody out there has a YouTube channel about flashlights and you want to educate me and maybe other people who would be interested, make that video, because I would love to hear about it and try to understand more. But anyway, this, I guess, would have more runtime than this one, lumens wise, this one kills this one. It has the 3 emitters and it's set up to pump out more. He could make this light have more lumens. He just chooses not to. This thing maxes out at 350 lumens, but in my use, it has been a marvelous 350 lumens. I've rarely needed the high setting. It also has that really cool glow gasket, so turn it on for a minute and then turn it off and it glows. And it really is cool. It's mostly just cool factor, but you can kind of use it to see, you can kind of see where your light is and stuff like that, but it only stays on for seconds after you turn it off. It's just cool. You can see there's this sort of webbing, or I guess it'd be orange peel over the glass. It's a sapphire glass. And I think that's to kind of make the beam a little bit more like smooth, like it smooths out the beam is how I can kind of gauge that. If I take this light has just clear glass. It's more like, you see how that beam on the left, yes, there's a bigger sort of what you would call, I guess, a hot spot. Now I'd have to get to the same setting on each one. Like this is high, so we'd probably have to go medium on this one and high on this one. So let's do that. They're both going to be around that 350, 400, lumen range. But what you'll see is you get more of a hot spot over here, centralized hot spot, and then you get the spill around it. On this guy, it's less like that, and it's more floody, I guess they call it. but it's very smooth. Like, you see how smooth that looks? Yeah, I could almost use this to film this video. This would suck if I was trying to film a video. So, it obviously depends on your use case and what you're doing, but I just wanted to show you that kind of difference. Another comparison size-wise would definitely be this F2. This is more standard, I think, for this 14500 size of flashlight. And again, this is a great indicator of why the Okluma is the king of that, because it takes the same battery as this guy, but it's, a tenth of an inch thinner in diameter. This guy's at 0.85 and this guy's at 0.72 or something like that. Now, in the center of the F2, it does get down to the same thickness, just about, but the Okluma keeps that throughout the whole flashlight, where this widens at the tail and the head. And if you get the F3, it stays that width all the way through, 0.83 of an inch, where this stays 0.72 or so straight through, which makes this much more pocketable. It puts it closer in the realm of a 10440 light. It's really a hybrid in terms of size. It's like right between those two. Closer probably to this, but still, it really makes it one of the most carryable flashlights. And for the runtime and capability, it really does make it a compelling offering. Now, it's expensive. These go for $450-ish, let's say, new in titanium. You can get them in aluminum. They're closer to $300, I think. But I haven't seen them make any in aluminum in a while. They're also available in zirconium, but they're going to be a lot harder to get, and they're $1,750 retail, which is a big jump. But there's a lot of work that goes into polishing the zirconium. Now, the price to me is I have no issue with that. I spend plenty of money on custom knives. Like, I have, this Trevor Burger would be, to me, a comparison, because it's a custom knife, but it's really CNC. It's not handmade, right? These are made on machines. They're obviously hand finished, but these are CNC made or lathe, whatever they use. Now, this is a little more custom, I guess, because I got this secondary, but whoever had this made by Trevor Burger chose these screws, the color, and the finish on the blade. But that's pretty much it. You get some minor choices like that. And it's kind of the same in the flashlight world. You might get to choose the emitter, and if you want that gasket, and what kind of boot you have in there or whatever. But this was $650. Now, this is a handmade custom knife. Sparrow Knife Co. Strix. This was $1,700. So, $450 to me for a really nice made titanium flashlight made in a shop by a guy in Oklahoma or Colorado, wherever they are, to me is worth every penny. I have no qualms about it. Now, the other thing with Okluma is their warranty is absolutely the best that I've heard of. Now, I will say I have used the warranty for CWF probably 3 or 4 times. You could argue I shouldn't have had to have used it that many times, but I really do abuse my flashlights. I drop them, I carry them I don't know. I think it's me. But also, I think these little 10440 clicky switches are vulnerable, or whatever you call it, versus the McClicky that's very sturdy. So, but anyway, I've worked with Charles a few times on warranty, and he is phenomenal. Send it in, fixes it, sends it back. It's pretty quick. I mean, within a week, usually I'm getting it back. And I've never been charged that I can remember. Usually you get some peanuts back with it. Like, absolutely wonderful. I've had cases where I sent him a machined titanium one, and he just refinished it for me. when I sent it back for something else. Like, just absolutely wonderful service. So I don't want to sit here and say that Jeff is the only one with wonderful warranty service, but it is a well-known fact that his warranty is ridiculous, to the point where you do not need to be the original owner. So you can buy a flashlight secondary. You are allowed to mod the flashlight. Honestly, go read the website. They encourage people to mod the flashlight, change out emitters and all the shit in here that I don't know too much about. You'll see on his Instagram, you know, he's like, oh, this one was in a fire, you know, and he's trying to figure it out, and he fixes it for the customer, and you get it back. I've even heard he sends loaners out. So, like, if you use this light for work and you need it warranted, you can send it in. He'll send you a replacement to use while he's fixing your flashlight. So definitely above and beyond in the customer service warranty category. And like I said, I don't think he's alone in that. I think Charles over at CWF is also top notch. Those are the only two I've worked with warranty wise. I've heard La Lima's fantastic. These custom flashlight makers are really good because they're in the community. Like, they're active, and they know what the deal is, you know. It's a little bit different than knives, as far as I can tell, because it seems like with knives, a lot of people expect you not even to use the knife. You know what I mean? Where with flashlights, there's nothing else you can do really but use it. Like, you could just have it in a cabinet or something if it's crazy materials or something, but for the most part, you're meant to be carrying and using these, so it's just a little bit different, I think, than knives, but you do have that crazy high-end side too. So anyway, I'll shut up about all that, but warranty's fantastic. The knurling on this is really cool. It's never been like my favorite thing in the world. I'm not a big knurling guy, but Okluma is kind of like, to me, they're like the quiet carry in the knife world when it comes to it. Like, it's their thing. They're the ones that do knurling, and you know, if I designed a flashlight or something, I would probably, you know, not do knurling because of that. Or I would be like, hey, dude, you care if I do knurling on my flashlight design? Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather. The clip is wonderful. So far, it's my favorite, I think, of the custom flashlight clips. But I will say I'm really loving this. I just got this yesterday, though. This is the CWF Peanut. This clip's really, really good as well, but I just got it. But this is very good. Retention's a little light for me, but it's not like it comes out of the pocket. It's just that I'm used to this that is super tight in the pocket. It comes with T8 hardware on the screws, a McClicky switch with a rubber boot. Now, as far as I can tell, they're one of the only ones using... Oh, nope, take it back. I was going to say using rubber. I think this is rubber as well. But I've seen a lot of silicone on the switches. So rubber is nice. I like the feel of it. Now, you do tend to get a little bit more of that springy, that ting. Hear that ting? You don't get that as much. Still there. I mean, it's the same switch as far as I know. They're both McClicky switches, which I believe is made by the person who makes McGizmo, is that right? Flashlights, which is another one I kind of want to get, the Haiku, but slow down, Kev. Yeah, you have this tumbled finish on the titanium. It's very just carryable, manipulatable. It's just really a good design and comfortable. You know, you can do the cigar hold that I've just discovered. It's not quite as easy as something like this where, you know, it's literally designed to be held that way. But hey, it does get warm, just like any flashlight. It is going to get, I think, a little bit warmer than, say, this, even on, let's just put this on high, which is 900 lumens. This is 350. and we can look at it. Now, while we have these on, this is a 4500K emitter, Nichia 219A, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And this is a 4000K. I think it's a Nichia 219B. Could be wrong, again, correct me. But you can see this is a little bit of a warmer light, and this is a little bit of a cooler light. It's very close. But this is a little bit higher on the Kelvin range. Now, I prefer the 4000, 4500 just fine. Once you get to 5 like this, not my favorite, but still cool. I can deal with it, but hopefully you can see the jump here. It gets from warmer to like more medium to cooler. Might be hard to tell. I don't know. But anyway, this guy is pretty warm right now, but not like toasty. This guy is pretty warm, but not like toasty. So it's still doing well. Actually, I'd say this one's a little warmer. And again, this one's at 900 lumens. This one's at 350. No, they're about the same. They're about the same. So we've had them on for I don't know how long. A minute and a half or something. And they're both still manageable. This one is, yeah, it's warm in some areas. But if you just hold it anywhere from here back, cool to the touch. Not even warm. So yeah, these are very close. So I would say the aluminum here obviously helps, I think, dissipate heat a little better. But you know, you add 500 lumens or whatever, and you end up pretty close. That was the stupidest test I've ever done. I don't even know what I was trying to do there. So let's just ignore me on that. But anyway, it does get a little warm after a while on high. But you shouldn't, I don't think you should be using high for long periods of time on an EDC light like this. I mean, usually medium is the most I ever need for what I'm doing. I do end up on medium a lot. That's one thing I do want to touch on this. The moonlight is very moonlight. I mean, it's borderline too moonlight for me. I would love to see the moonlight bumped up just slightly. I mean, it is just so damn dim. To the point where when I'm in pitch dark trying to use it, sometimes I almost want to switch over to medium, and I just don't, because I don't want to go too far. So I'd like to see like just a little more here, you know? Just for reference, let's say this one, even the red is a bit brighter, I would say. But this is, I think, moonlight. It might honestly be 1%, not moonlight. There's a difference there. But you can see. And I used this last night. This is perfectly dim enough. It's not bothering anybody. So maybe that's, you know, to each their own. This one is not a moonlight. It's a low. So this one I feel like is a little too bright, honestly, for a low setting. I wish this had a moonlight, then low, medium, high. This one's set to 15% and 100. And that's clearly way brighter. So I like it. I honestly just wish it was slightly brighter. Just ever so slightly. The medium is, I think, perfect. There's an argument to be made that there should be one more setting here. That there should, like, this should be low. And then, you know, high should be medium. And then there should be one more setting after that that doesn't exist. Right around 600 lumens. I could see that argument. But, again, in practice, I haven't ever needed it. And I've really felt like Okluma is kind of teaching you a lesson with this light. They're teaching you that you don't need lumens. Lumens is not everything. And my brain just wants lumen, right? Ooh, 900 lumens. Ooh, you know? But in practice, I've used both of these for EDC for about a month each, or I don't know, at least 2 weeks each. And neither one felt like it out functioned the other one, if that makes sense. Yeah, this one could get brighter, but I've never been like, oh, I wish I had that Focus Works on high right now out here instead of this. You know, it's surprisingly bright outside. Covers a good area, and it gives you really clean light. I really like how the light looks on this light. And that 4500, man, I think I'm coming to the dark side. I think I like 4500 better than 4000. So, yeah, I think I've said a lot, but also said very little. So I apologize for that. I'm just kind of rambling. I love this light. It's currently probably my favorite light. It is my favorite light in my collection. I do have more coming, and I'm always exploring. I really want to, after getting this, I really want to try a DC1. I'd like to have them make new ones and get one of those, but I would totally go after an old one. So if anybody has a DC1 you want to sell me, let me know. I don't know if they come with secondaries, but I'm kind of a nerd right now and kind of like the secondary. It's just a cool factor to this. And it actually is functional. I was using it last night. It was great. But yeah, the DC0 is just the epitome of EDC when it comes to flashlights. They don't give you too much, right? This is your high, and that's what you get. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. And it's what you need. There's nothing more, right? That's the thing here. You don't get more, but you get everything you need. And that lesson has been well received for me. I needed it. Yeah. And it comes in such a great package. That middle ground size is just amazing. It really feels almost no different than carrying this. It really doesn't. And yet you get an extra 3 times the runtime on it. 320 to 350 milliamp hours, 1250 here. You know, and if you do what I did, right, you run out to Illumin.com or Lion Wholesale or wherever you want to go. Actually, Okluma sells them directly. And you pick up 4 backups because you're a maniac. That's right, I have 3. I have a 4th one on the way. And then you go to Pinewood Machining and you pick up these awesome 10440 cases. These are AA, but he makes 10440 ones now. Sorry, 14500. He also makes 10440, which they're just AAA. They fit the AAA ones. Anyway, I'm stocked up. Got all these extra batteries. I'm ready to go. You know, if the lights go out, come to my house. I'm ready. I'm going to throw this on the charger, and then we're going to take one of these, and we're going to go outside. And I'm going to show you guys this puppy outside briefly, and that'll close out the video. So, yeah, the threads, that's something people like to talk about, are very good. I did clean them off because I really hate that black shit that gets all over the threads on flashlights. I think it's there for a reason, to be like petroleum jelly or whatever the fuck, silicone to keep your O-ring, you know. But I always replace it with KPL dry lube. It seems to work, but I think you do get that little bit of a screech. You can just use, we could test it real quick, actually. Let's do that. You can just use regular nano oil, stuff like that. Let's just try some nano oil here. I think what I saw them selling was 10 weight. So this is the 10 weight. You can see it's disgusting. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use KPL original here. And you just take a little bit. What I would do, which I'm going to do, just put a little bit on a Q-tip, and then you want to just run it around. I would say run it around your O-ring. You want to keep your O-ring lubricated because it can crack. And if you do use the wrong type of lube, you might actually cause that to happen quicker. But I think we should be good with this. And then you just put a little on the threads here. Right? I'll do the same in here. Now I'm trying to do my best to avoid the copper pill, which is what this thing is, the copper pill. Now, the driver is exposed, but you can remove it. So I don't know how all that works. You got to get something in there and then you just twist it out. And people can mess with the glass and the stuff. And I've never done that yet. But I don't know if that would cause longevity issues, you know, dropping it and shit if it's not like glued in or whatever. But I don't know, who knows. So let's just see. Let's thread this a couple times. See if that made a difference. Because it was screeching a little there, right? You can still hear it. Very smooth. Now, titanium naturally is just going to be grittier than other stuff. But, yeah, it's going to screech regardless. But it's very smooth. Very clean. It gets tight right here where the O-ring contacts. And then I just give it a little snugger. And we're good to go. So, I don't know. You can use whatever you want. I think the dry lube's fine, honestly. I just don't like having all that black gunk in there. Just, you know, that's what you get with titanium, obviously. Get titanium threads on titanium and you're tightening. It's going to happen. But, yeah. So you can also buy these Ranger bands on Pinewood Machining and boom. Perfect for a trip or something like that. But, yeah. So let's go outside. And we'll just hit this guy. You can see what it looks like. And that'll be the end. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. The packaging is awesome from Okluma. They have amazing packaging. The clip I think I talked about is fantastic. The ergonomics are fantastic. It's thin. It feels amazing in the hand. You can cigar grip it, kind of. I mean, it's not like made for it like this is, but it definitely works. You know, see how you can slip out because you don't have that ridge, but you know, you can hold it like that for sure. But the 14500s, I think, are meant more for like this kind of grip, you know, this kind of stuff. The knurling's fantastic. Machining's fantastic. The light is fantastic. Warranty's fantastic. And I'm stoked with it. It's my favorite light that I have right now. You know, I like them all for different reasons. But if you said you could only keep one, what's going to be your flashlight? It's going to be this one because it's the best EDC. It really is. So there you go. Stay tuned for the outdoor, what do you call it, beam test or something. Just going to show you low, medium, high real quick. Nothing crazy. But yeah, I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later. Okay, so I got the Okluma DC0 here in titanium, and I'm just going to show you guys what's going on here. We're outside, and as usual, I like to just say on camera it looks 2 to 3 times brighter than in person. So it's really hard to gauge what I'm showing you, but it's just for me to do it and tell you what I think. So this is on moonlight, and it is really moonlight. Even with the camera that makes everything look brighter, it is barely showing the light like on the grass there. In person, it's doing nothing, basically. You can see against that garage, I can just see the light moving, but I can barely see it illuminate anything. And it doesn't go anywhere near that tree. We might just nick the sign a little bit, but I can't really even see that. Yeah, I can see it bouncing, but I don't see anything. So that's low. This is medium, which starts to get much brighter on camera. In person, it's still, you know, I can see the yard. It's not like, you know, crazy illuminating. It's got good flood. So it's showing a lot of the yard. It's just not brightening it a ton. The tree over there, yeah, I can see it, but it's not like, you know, it's not radiating or anything. I can barely make out what's going on from here. And then against the house, I can get a good picture, but again, it's not super bright or anything. Honestly, the way it looks on camera right now is pretty much what it looks like in real life when I do this. So if that gives you any idea. But it's definitely very usable when you're walking around. And it's a very clean light. That's what I really like about the Okluma. All right, we're going to hit high. There we go, 350 lumens. And this pretty much covers me for everything I need. I haven't felt like I needed more, which is interesting because I really thought I would. The tree is nice and illuminated. Again, you're getting good flood here. I can see the whole yard pretty well, pick out whatever I needed. Now we're really seeing that garage nice and clear. It's a nice soft light, 4500K. I really enjoy this setting, and it doesn't get too hot too quickly, which is nice, especially if you're out in the colder months like right now. So that is the DC0. There's that glow gasket looking really cool. And appreciate you guys checking out the video. Thank you. Peace.